Hi, and welcome to Nation Station. This is Kimber, and of course I'm joined here today with Nathan and Carol Giese from town here in Vandalia. They have agreed to talk to us and tell us a little bit of their story and how they started his place, which is this beautiful restaurant you see here where they've restored a historic building, and then we're going to go next door and see the thrift shop. So Nathan, thank you guys so much. Would you kind of just tell us a little bit about who you are and how did you end up in Vandalia?
Wow, well.
We're going way back.
How many hours do you have?
We started coming to Vandalia probably about 10 years ago as volunteers at the prison.
Okay.
And our daughter had a prison ministry there called Beauty for Ashes.
Okay.
That was a year-long reentry program. That was a faith-based program. And it would prepare ladies to get out of prison and find a way to plug themselves back into community via a church or some other Christian program when they left the prison.
Good. With having maybe a different identity than
with
who
a
they
whole
thought they
different
were.
identity.
Not that victim mentality.
Our program would start on inner healing and deal with the issues that led them to prison.
Good.
Then we'd go into the discipleship things that a new believer would go through, as well as parenting classes and other things.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And,
Do they still have that program?
well, the program has moved from Vandalia to Chillicothe because the Vandalia program is prison now is a very small population.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still in the area in that we have now opened up a program in Troy, Missouri that's a one-year residency program outside of prison.
I did not know that.
And that we're working with the local drug courts and some of the judges in Pike County and Lincoln County. And we've received calls. We've received calls at the center from a judge on the bench when he's getting ready to sentence somebody, saying, "Hey, if she'll come, can you have room for her?"
Wow.
And yes, we do. And so it's really been moving forward. And so it's
So 10 years ago.
10 years
That's what
ago.
brought you here.
What brought us here,
Okay.
and then so we were coming over, not really connected in the community. We were at the prison, and then 4.5 years ago, the pastor of the Beacon of Hope Church, Dean Fry, had developed cancer and was needing to leave the ministry, and they desperately need somebody to fill in.
Yeah.
And somebody said, "Well, you come over anyway. Why don't you come a few more times and you could fill in?" And my background is in the corporate world, working in telecom with AT&T, Lucid Technologies, and other companies like
So
that.
had you retired from that?
Well, I had started my own consulting business, working with rural telephone companies throughout the United States, and so very flexible work environment. And I had, through the work with prison ministry, had got my ministerial credentials with the Assemblies of God Church, and had was looking to become more of a chaplain in Kansas. Then, right in the midst of all of that, we get this phone call saying, "Would you consider?" And it was like, I don't know. I've talked to my wife about that. And she goes, "Maybe we should." And then we go, we were on a volunteer staff position in a large church in Kansas City, and I go, "Oh, I don't know how the pastor would feel about us just walking away on 1 week's notice." And we went in to see him. He goes, "I've been praying about you guys. And God told me you were going to be leaving here before Christmas. So this is exciting." And I'm going,
He was all on board then.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, we didn't want to leave our grandkids, leave family, leave everything. And we came over here and visited the church, and we started our, with the 5 people they had in that old building. And so we have always focused on ministering to a community, not necessarily to a congregation or a church. And so,
no reason to limit within the 4 walls.
No, absolutely not. And we're all in God's family.
That's right.
And it's a team effort.
That's right.
And so the pastors here in town are just amazing to work with, and we have worked together on things like the Family Fun event that we did last year in the park.
Is that through the Ministerial Alliance?
Yes.
That you're part of that?
Yeah.
Super.
And then we've worked on the Christmas program a couple of years ago. We got all the churches to volunteer some people to put on a play. We did a Christmas play at First Christian, and Carol's got her degree in theater, and we had a blast with that. And so we had talked about, boy, we need a thrift store in Vandalia. We need some places where people can just come together and visit. And Virginia Hotteshell was a member of our church. She felt that in selling her farm, that God wanted her to use that money that she got from the sale of her farm to be able to use it for ministry, restore some old buildings in the downtown area, and create jobs. It was important to her, and so we go, hey, that sounds just like what we like to be involved in.
Yes.
So we volunteered to work with her, and we began working over here about 6 days a week, everything from janitorial, cleaning up, carpenter, electrical, plumbing, hunting for restaurant equipment, getting it all ready to go, planning out the menu, and working with Virginia. Virginia used to have the Vandalia Hotel.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and she ran a restaurant, and I was confident she could do this. And then along about April, she goes, I can't do this. And I go, really? I mean, we're almost ready to go. What are we going to do? And she goes, oh, no problem, you take it over. And we were like, no way.
So that kind of landed in your lap.
Yeah, and so we were prepared to run the thrift store as part of the ministry of the church. But to set up a 4-business, restaurant, oh my goodness, no way. So we drug our feet on it for quite a while, and finally realized we were going to have to get serious about it. Began praying about it, and felt like what Lord wanted us to do was to set up a for-profit corporation, ask some of the other pastors in town to be on the board of directors, and Virginia on the board as the owner of the building, and that we would take our money that we had to get the thing going, and then maybe over years ahead, the restaurant could pay us back. Type thing. So we could put in the seed money and then the effort to get it launched. And Virginia named the restaurant. She goes, this is his place. And we go, sounds good to us. It is his place.
Came up with the name.
And so we were in here on prayer, and we'd invited all the pastors. We had the Presbyterian pastor, the Methodist pastor, the Baptist, the First Christian, all of us in here, and we held hands and prayed and dedicated this building, prayed over Virginia, and it has just gone forward.
Well, that is amazing. And I know our youth on Wednesday nights love to come up here, and that's really special that you guys open up for them. Place to hang out. These kids need that.
And the thing that's really neat about the Wednesday night is that Wednesday nights open to anybody, any of the youth in town. It's not just from First Christian Youth. And so we have, young people that come in here, we tell them about it. And we say, hey, you gotta come hang out. You don't have any sports stuff going on Wednesday night. Great place to meet people. And then we only really have one youth pastor here in town. We have some other youth programs, but one youth pastor. And so Mike is our designated youth pastor. And so, we'll come over if we see some young person that we've encouraged to come, and if showed up, I'll say, Mike, I want to introduce you to somebody. And they get plugged into the youth group. And I believe the youth group of First Christian has grown quite a lot.
Oh yeah, 30 and 40 people.
Yeah, it is.
They'll have a week.
When we first started this on a Wednesday night, we had about 15 young people in here. This last Wednesday, there was over right at 30. I didn't go around and count, but I did a quick scan of the room, and it was wonderful. Carol and I hardly ever come here on Wednesday nights because we have church, and then I teach on Wednesday nights. Then I drive the van to get everybody home. So, and then getting back here at 6 in the morning, we go home and crash. We are kind of sneaking up there age-wise. But
you've got quite a few jobs then.
So but this, periodically we'll sneak in and take a look. Carol, do you want to tell them about how we run this on Wednesday night with our volunteers?
We have an amazing couple that steps in, Josh and Meredith, Yasina, and they have just stepped in and said, okay, show us how to run the cash register, show us what we need to do, and how we need to clean up and so forth, and we will just take over for you. Their daughter works here for us anyway.
All right.
She's an incredible baker, Gabby.
All the cookies and muffins and everything that's in the cash. She's one that bakes all. She comes in on Saturday and on Sunday or Saturday and Monday and bakes. And now she's been working on perfecting a new sandwich roll that we can fix here.
Okay. We bake here so that we will have our new Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, and we wanted to get a really good bread for it.
Right. No, you don't have to buy it. Right.
Yeah, we had gone to Walmart, and they're very consistent on when they'll have them on the shelf.
Okay.
And when we went to the local grocery store, we go, oh, look, they have them. We got them, brought them here, went to make them, and it had the consistency of a hot dog bun, and it collapsed. When you couldn't pick it up, you had to eat it with a fork.
Yeah.
And so, so anyway, she's helping us with the baking, and we're getting that going. It's been quite an adventure getting equipment and things. We needed a 3-compartment sink, and we just prayed. The one we needed, a new one, was a couple $1,000 or more. And we went online, found one over in Decatur, Illinois, went over there. We had needed an espresso coffee maker and reached out to Quick Trip service station, and they said, oh, well, we're getting rid of ours, we'll donate 3.
Oh my
So we went down to St. Louis to their distribution center and loaded them up, brought them here, and first one broke.
Oh.
Got 2 more.
Right.
Next one lasted about 15 minutes.
Oh no.
Third one, it went for about a week and then broke down. So I called the repair center, and the guy said, are you a big restaurant? I go, no. He goes, well, you need to get rid of those things. And I go, really? And he says, yeah. He says, our average service call is $2,000 for parts and labor.
Oh my.
And we visit every one of those machines about every 2 months.
Oh no.
And I was like, well, it's not going to work. It's donation free, but it's going to cost us.
Right.
And I go, well, what are we going to do? So he told us what to order, what to look for. Again, we prayed to the Lord, and there were, $4,000 or $5,000 to buy one. And we found one at a golf course north of Chicago, and they sold it to us for $1,500.
Wow.
And it's been wonderful. So every time we run into a problem, the Lord provides or gives somebody to advise us, because this is what you need to get, this will work for you, and then it all comes together.
I know, and I love how He works through different people.
Yeah.
Putting them in our path, like when you were talking to the repairman. That's how you learned. You needed something different, not put the money into that. So can you tell us a little bit about the staff? What does it take to operate such a business?
Well, with each thing we work on, we spend a lot of time praying and saying, one, what's the menu that we're going to do? What are the hours? When we started, we were only open from 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock. And we were getting our bread from the Amish bakery over in Curryville, Bowling Green area. And so we were just doing deli sandwiches. And we had hired two ladies, I don't want to say young ladies, because anything under 40 is really young. And so they would work and make the sandwiches, and it was great. And then we began, expanding with the baked goods, and the cookies and the muffins and the cinnamon rolls and all the other goodies. And Brian from First Baptist said, got just the person for you, and that is Gabby. And Gabby at the Christmas service that we had for the Ministerial Association. She was one playing the ukulele. If you were there, she's incredible. Well, she came and started baking and doing the baking, so she was added to the team. And well, was told if you can make biscuits and gravy, the farmers will come. And so we began looking for a cook. And I talked to Sally over at Ace Hardware. She used to work at the restaurant here in town that was back before it was the Cupboard, the Spice Apple, and all the different names it's had. So I talked with her about gravy, and she goes, "You couldn't afford me." But then James, or Mikey, a lot of people know him as Mikey Wiedemann, he came as our breakfast cook. And we experimented with different gravy recipes for about a week and a half until we got it right. And now we can honestly say that we had the best gravy probably in Audrain County.
Wow, I've heard. People have bragged on it.
Yeah, it is really fun. And we've got some of the farmers coming. Today we had about 8 of the correction officers. So we got off the night shift and they came to have breakfast together. And then on the second Tuesday of the month, we have the retirees from the brick plant. They come in, there'll be 20, 30 guys coming here for breakfast and visit, and we put all the tables together. And the Ministerial Alliance meets here once a month. So we got some different groups that come in. And in addition to our breakfast and our sandwiches and now our Philly steak sandwiches, we also have Ashby's hand-dipped ice cream. And Ashby Sterling ice cream has won all sorts of awards.
I thought I saw an ice cream machine back there.
And Carol, tell them about the Prairie Days with the little kids with the ice cream.
We have one ice cream that's called Superman ice cream. 3 colors. Superman colors, red, blue, and yellow.
That was my daughter's favorite. I didn't know you had it here.
Yes, we do. And it's a good variety. And so all of the kids were coming in on Prairie Days to get these ice cream cups and loving it. And one little boy came running in. He said, "I need some ice cream." I said, "Well, what kind do you want?" He said, "I don't know what it's called, but it's like a rainbow. All the kids are eating it."
That's Brenda.
Superman.
Right, you knew exactly what he was talking about.
They love the ice cream.
You guys, this building is beautiful. Did you put in the stained glass? Or was that already?
No, let me tell you about stained glass. The couple that owned the building, this building, the one where the thrift store is, they had redecorated this building years ago, and they had put in this drop ceiling and did a lot of the work. They built this fireplace, and they'd had a coffee shop here for a while, but they didn't make a go of it. So then they turned the space into a antique store. Yeah, antique store. So some of these cabinets around here, China cabinets and things, that's from their antique store. And he says they're all for sale, so if anybody wants to buy one, they're welcome to it. And his wife is a stained glass artist. And the thrift store area was her shop where she manufactured the stained glass. So the stained glass that's on display here is also for sale. And it's it had all been made here in Vandalia in her shop.
They're beautiful. Get a picture of those and share.
Yeah,
or better yet, you can come in and see for yourself.
Yeah, it is great, and I'm not too worried about losing any of the stained glass because it is so expensive we couldn't afford to buy it. But but anybody that has the funds that really likes stained glass, it's a true artist that did it.
Does she still make them then?
They're in the process of setting up a new shop for her. So, but it's some beautiful stuff.
Well, can we take a brief tour around the building?
Oh, it'd be wonderful.
Do you want to tell us, though, anything first about the thrift store, or should we go in there and talk about that? Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, well, the thrift store is open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and from 9 to 3. And we have a few volunteers. We need more volunteers. We need volunteers to go through the clothing. We need volunteers to just be in here to help, with the sales aspect of it. But with the way we've set everything, when we first set it up, we thought, well, we just price each thing individually, and
it's too much work.
Too much work, and the other was that it became you had it all for too much money, and so we changed it to $5 a bag, and we got big bags, and we actually have become experts on overstuffing bags, and so it's amazing how much can go in a single bag. I had somebody say, well, I like to use my own bag. I said, mine holds more. But the whole idea is that we want the clothes to get into the hands of people, and it's not about making the money. We do got to pay the rent and the electric, but it's a ministry, and there's a lot of nice clothes, and if we can just get them into the people that need it, families, it'd be great.
And I guess boys and girls and all sizes.
Men's, women's, boys, girls. And if you know of any families or people who are in emergency type situations where they need clothing, we just give them clothing.
Yeah, they can come and, if all they need is just to let us know, I'm in a tough financial situation and kids need clothes, or I need this, whatever it is. We'll just give it to them.
Turned down, I believe an abusive situation.
And that does happen. It's nice to know that resources here. So I imagine you would probably accept donations.
We do.
Is there a certain time where they just need to get a hold of you?
If they don't come during the days that we're open, they can come in through here and
let us know.
Just let us know and we'll take them.
One of the things that we want to avoid is having people just drop things off by our back door. One day I saw a pickup go by and I go, I thought they went in the alley. Oh well, the alley is shared with some other buildings. Well, later that night, as I'm getting ready to leave, I look over by our back door. There were 10 huge boxes, and they almost got left out, and it was getting ready to rain. And I really wouldn't have known it. And as it was some beautiful things that were donated clothing, but they never came in and said anything. They just dumped it and went. And they had taken a lot of care in boxing it all up. And so I just want to put the word out. Let us know. And that'll be great.
Very good. And then we'll be able to go look in a minute and see, but I didn't know furniture or anything like that.
Don't have
mostly clothing, right?
Mostly clothing, and some odds and ends, shoes, purses, and some and accessories, etc. But also some bric-a-brac type odds and ends, that kind of thing. We have a prayer request jar that sits right here by our fireplace, and on each table we have a pad of paper and a pen, and a place that you can write down a prayer request if you would like for us to pray for any matter throughout the day. We pray for them throughout the day and on the weekends, and so we just invite you to write out whatever your concerns are and drop them in the jar, and we continue to pray for those.
And I imagine they could be anonymous, or they can
be anonymous, or you can put your name on them, whatever you want to do.
We know God answers prayer. He's still in the miracle working business.
Books that are here, that are Christian books, we will take, and they are free for the taking. So we even have some Bibles. Just about every kind of version that you would like to find. And some of these are books about doctrine or faith, and some of them are novels, like what we call the bonnet novels, like the Amish and so forth. Someone donated a bunch of those. So we've got novels, we've got some of them are even, I remember seeing something in here, devotionals, some little devotionals that people bring in. So yeah, they're all available to take for free.
Nice. I see the story here.
Yes.
A few years ago, our church went through and did that. Just realizing the circumstances we live in and how God is just so much higher above our circumstances, and we've got to look up.
And who knows, maybe it was one of the people from your church that donated.
Yeah. I've got some I could donate that are just sitting on my shelves.
There you go.
They need to be read.
we don't want them to just sit in people's homes, and you know, if
Right.
you don't need them in your home, you've already gone through them, put them in the hands of somebody that can help.
Yeah, I noticed your sign here where it says, you know, read it, pass it on, or return it, whatever you want to do.
But it's a, yeah, whatever.
It's a nice little reading.